All right, guys, welcome to episode 51. 51 with Wine for the People. And, now I'm going to have to say, I'm not sure what's going on here, if everyone else can see what we're seeing, but I think maybe, just maybe, Supersonic Turtle 02 has actually beat Justin. Justin, though, I want to confirm on your end, what are you seeing right now?
Oh, and Stephen was going to have a go on there as well.
Guys, welcome, and of course, happy Sunday, and most importantly, happy Mother's Day. So we thought we'd do something really special for today's episode, because usually, like, you know, we end up, hey, we do pair a lot of, I guess, food with wine on the show. Mm-hmm. Quite often, it's not exactly the greatest food for you.
It's delicious, but not particularly healthy. We do drink a bit on the show, mm-hmm. And you know, wine and food is a bit of a deal. Beer and food, everything in food is always a really good deal. And so we thought today we'd actually do something a little bit different. We had a really cool idea that you know, it was Mother's Day. You know, we'd honor the mums. Well, Brennan, that's you. Hello from a huge fan. Hi, Tanya. Thanks so much for chiming in. It is me. Love that, Cascadora. Yeah, it's freezing up here. We're in the Adelaide Hills, and it was, you know, it was approaching. Because my hair looked fantastic.
Yeah, it's Sunday. No, so of course, you know, one of the, you know, I was thinking all the amazing things about mothers, and you know, the best way to my heart, as you've learned, is through my stomach, and I think that goes the same for a lot of people. And one of those things, of course, cooking at home growing up, mm-hmm. You know, your mum would cook for you, right? And she'd cook, you know, amazing, you know, dishes. They sometimes weren't like, you know, because we talk to a lot of chefs on the show, we've talked to wait staff and sommeliers on the show, and of course we're very lucky. We get to try some really amazing dishes. But for me, the most amazing dishes are the ones that you know, you have a visceral reaction to, an emotional response to, and for us, you know, your mum's cooking. You know, your mum's cooking, the nostalgia of your mum's cooking. And so we decided, we got in touch with our mums, and we had an idea of what was, you know, the dish that our mums were sort of most famous for within our family. The one that, you know, you came home from school and you just smelt in the air.
The signature dish.
The signature dish, and you were just like, yes, yes, we're having that tonight. So we've decided we've independently cooked. Well, Laura helped out with the pasta at the end as I was setting up the show. We've independently cooked our mum's most signature dishes. They sent us through their recipes. And so did you want to announce yours? Should we do them one by one?
Yeah, go one.
One by one? All right, so would you like to do the honors first?
Okay. We did comment before the show, because these are home cooked meals, they don't look like restaurant meals, but the point is they're delicious. It's
not even about looking like a restaurant meal, and in particular this one, I think a lot of people can attest to the fact that to cook this style of dish in the presentation that you want to is probably notoriously hard.
Yes. So I have lasagna.
Would you want me to have a shot of this?
It's chicken and spinach lasagna.
Chicken and spinach lasagna. So talk us through this, Laura. Talk us about, like, tell us about your mum and when she would cook this.
Well, the most obvious one is always on Dad's birthday we have this dish. Mm-hmm. But then, yeah, sometimes randomly, actually, to be honest, this dish gets mostly cooked because my sister and I and my mum are all gluten-free. So now, and you saw today, it's really hard to find gluten-free.
Man, I went to 3 different supermarkets, and because we live in an area with no people, that's actually, it's a big hike. It was an hour and a half round trip.
Yeah, so now it's Dad's birthday, and whenever you can find gluten-free lasagna sheets in the supermarket.
Yeah, that's right. But no, so how do you make it? How do you make it? Because I spent a long time making mine, I think out of necessity, and it taught me a lesson. Whereas you managed to, like, whip this up, and it smells incredible.
Well, I was so I've actually never made this before. Mum's always made it, and so I was also surprised how simple it was. Yeah, it's just onions and chicken breast, and then you just cook all of that, or just brown it, and then
stir in some spinach and white sauce, and then just layer a lasagna with lots of cheese, and ta-da!
You layer a lasagna with lots of cheese, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a cheese lasagna. Supersonic Turtles, oh my god, chicken spinach lasagna.
Yeah.
We feel you might have had it before there. I bought the Seaside and Coral. I think I now own over 20 bottles. Oh, Tanya, shh, about the coral. No one else knows about it yet. Only you do. There's something coming for everyone else who's chiming in. There's something coming. Good God.
Such
it is.
good comfort food. That's exactly.
Mum has a half-hour dinner rule, and this exceeds the time limit.
So that was my sister chiming in, and yeah, that's true. Anything that takes more than half an hour.
I'm surprised though.
It's reserved for special occasions.
We haven't heard from Justin Hess in the last 5 minutes, so I'm not too sure whether, because I know there's a bit of a time delay about first comment, and I see this first comment, Justin Hess is straight on there, but it does show on our end someone else has made the first comment. So I want to know, Justin, are you in tears right now? Please don't be. It's okay. Or are you seeing something completely different? All right, so shall we tuck in? And I want to know most importantly, firstly, what are you guys drinking? How was your weekend? And what has your, so 3 questions. What are you drinking? How was your weekend? And what was your mum known for cooking when you were growing up? What was the famous thing that your mum cooked? I'm interested to know the repertoire, because we've cooked both, we've cooked both Italian inspired things. I think Italian food.
Yeah.
Inspired food is one of those sort of homely things that you can easily do. But I'm fascinated because I know there's people with really different and diverse backgrounds that are chiming into the show. What's the typical repertoire of food?
My dad just chimed in as well and said, if it's easy to make, how come your mum only makes it on Sunday? Sorry, Mum. I just stopped during that.
That's good.
I told you, it's the lasagna sheets.
Oh look, Aiden, yeah, Justin won on my feed. Oh wow. I'll take a photo of our, I reckon, we'll send this in. We'll send this in to the people that organise this stuff, and we'll get a straight answer. This happened the other day. I want to make sure we're giving the right people the right kudos. Furfies and. So I just got the Facebook notification after Twitch went live. If that makes you feel any better. All right, so let's tuck in. I'm keen to have a crack. Can I jump in?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, I've had this so many times.
This is because but how you've never cooked it in 10 years. You've never cooked
lasagna sheets.
I've never made lasagna as well either. Admittedly, like I've never actually. Again, it's one of those time-consuming things. You're like, you know what? It could just be a pasta bake. You know, you could just throw it together in a pasta bake.
And the best part about this dish is the crusty edges, like the crispy cheese bits.
You know, there's something about rice flour as well. There's something about between sort of more glutinous flour pasta.
Yeah.
I've got a dog nudging me. He's like so keen. He can definitely smell something right now. But the rice flour pasta crisps up better. It's a nicer crisp. I think.
Yeah, good for lasagna.
Like, we're gonna do this again. Because it's winter, and this feels like the ultimate sort of winter food as well. The crispiness tied with just the sheer amount of that white sauce is just going straight to my thighs.
I actually did modify the recipe. I did double the white sauce.
That's unfair. I purposely didn't modify the recipe at all. Although I did. Can you believe I went to 3 supermarkets today and could not find a single tin of diced tomatoes?
Yeah. Everything else is pretty well stocked back at our supermarket, but for some reason tin tomatoes we're still having real difficulties getting.
I just saw Tara Bell's trying to go, let's be honest, Mum survived because of wine. You know, I'm not well versed enough to be able to make a comment on it, but I believe you. Drinking Nero Pet Nat from Wildman, sick man. That's the dark side one. What's it called now? It's not called the dark side. It's called heavy petting. I think, and now it's changed to something else again.
I'm not sure if it's really.
Had a lovely dinner, family dinner on Friday. Mum cooks absolutely everything, but I think my favourite is her Middle Eastern style lamb shoulder.
Yeah. See, also comfort food, and that would be like a slow cooked, I imagine.
I imagine like if you got kids running around, you know, you're busy. You wouldn't want to cook something for like a, you know, like a one service wonder.
Yeah.
You want to cook something that you're going to want to eat all week. Pasta bake's one of the easy ones because it's pretty easy to cook and quick to cook, and it lasts you a really, really long time. And also the sheer quantity of sauce is the best way to asshole veggies into your kid's mouth, I think.
Yes.
So I'd be surprised to see if there was anyone that was like, oh yeah, my mum used to cook ramen. You know, I doubt that would actually happen.
Yeah, I reckon it's like curries and stews and this Italian. And maybe that is the attraction to the Italian, is that they're big serves.
See, when I was considering the dish that I was going to cook today, it was hard to pick between a couple, and it was like there's like a beef stew thing that was really awesome.
Yeah.
There was this pasta salad thing, like cold pasta salad thing, that was just the most amazing thing as well.
I've never had that before.
Really, really good. I would just drink bucket loads, drink bucket loads, eat bucket loads, and drink bucket loads of this stuff all the time. But it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to pass up. You know, the OG spaghetti bolognese. Like, you gotta appreciate for a second how important this dish is to so many mums around the country. And I learned something today, because I do the same sort of thing. Like, I throw it together in an hour, you know, hour and a half. 4 hours. 4 hours.
I know, and so you actually had to think ahead and do the shopping before midday, so you had enough time to cook it, because your style of
wham bam, thank you ma'am. Yeah.
But not just that, you like cooking stuff for a long time, but often you don't plan ahead, so you'll go to the supermarket at 6 and get your food, and then we'll eat at 9 o'clock.
I think we all accept I'm not really much of a planner. I'm not really the organised planning type.
And that's fine, but you did it today because this dish was so important.
It was really important because, you know, and the quality of my bolognese, it was actually, all of this is an elaborate ruse just to be able to obtain the recipe from Mum.
Yeah, and isn't that funny? Like, I didn't have the recipe on hand, and neither did you. We actually had to ask.
And the recipe was horrendously simple. I think there's no more than around about 6 ingredients in that thing, really. And beef mince, it would have been great to have some pork mince. I mean, I've done sort of variants on spaghetti bolognese. Also want to know, because I'm confident that your mum's cooked a lot of spag bol for you guys at home. Was there any twist? Because there was a twist on this one, and I'd never heard of the twist before. And I think it's been the missing element. Two missing elements to my spaghetti bolognese over the years. Time. Cooking this thing over and over. I added to this thing almost 2.5 litres of water while it was cooking down, just keeping it from burning. And a pinch of curry powder. Pinch of curry powder.
Probably not enough to taste, I imagine. It must just be like a bit of...
I don't know, have a crack.
Spice or something.
Have a crack. Drinking Sorbet Adams, the thing. Introduced my son-in-law to a Negroni with ochre. Hey, sick. Thanks, Tanya.
The other thing I'm interested in is, because the thing about bolognese is the proportion of meat base as well. Like traditional is with pork, I think.
I think it's typically like a pork, yeah.
We used beef today because yesterday we actually picked up
half a cow.
Half a cow that we had done at the butcher for us, but it was from one of the farmers who we actually give our grape mark to, and he feeds it to his cows, and then every couple of years we get a cow. That's why we have this. Yeah,
so this is cow that has been.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's good.
It's really good.
I like how quick the reaction was as well.
No, but I actually think you can taste the curry powder. How much was in there?
I put half a tablespoon.
It's
a big pinch.
I think that is the secret, because I've had this from your mum before, and I've had your version of it, and they're definitely different. And I always assumed it was related
because
to
I sucked. It was
time.
It was because of competency. I assure you of that.
No, you like to freestyle. You're like a big fan of fennel seeds.
Well, fennel seeds and pork mince, guys, like it works. Like basil or tomato, but you know, I nudge it.
No,
I definitely nudge it a little bit too much.
And
I think, on a regular basis
there as well from the tomatoes.
So if we've got a couple of questions here. Christina's chimed in saying, is it bechamel sauce or cheese sauce?
Yeah, it's bechamel sauce, and then I put some cheese in it. I think that makes it cheese sauce.
What's a bechamel sauce? I don't. Forgive me. I know a lot about wine. This is where you all discover my failings. I just eat food, but I know a lot about wine.
So this was butter, with flour, and then you mix that together, and then add the milk, and then cook that until it thickens.
Oh, really? So it's flour and dairy and dairy and dairy.
Yeah, that's
Yum.
why it's delicious.
It's totally the curry powder.
It is, isn't it?
It's totally the curry
Yeah,
powder.
that's so interesting.
Yeah, this is so good. This is pretty much responsible for my entire growth spurt in my teens, I reckon.
Yeah, well, and your mum had a household of 2 boys, and obviously Jerry as well, so 3 boys to feed.
Yep.
I imagine it would have cost her a fortune.
We used to play a game called Eat It Now, Taste It Later, because if you didn't eat quick enough, like there was no more
Too
food
much
left.
competition.
Yeah. So you basically had to carb up, protein up, get your
Yeah.
fats in the shortest period of time, so you could, maximize the meal. Otherwise, you would just miss out. So I would say things like this would take around about 5 hours to cook, and I'm going to say less than 10 minutes to consume.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Piggy pop. Yes, truffles. I know. Oh, I forgot to offer. While we're here.
Oh, I don't need more cheese on mine.
I thought. In fact, I didn't even offer. I just went and did it because I know you. Cheese on cheese. Sue and Craig here in honour of my late mum. It's chili beans sans carne. Wait, chili beans without meat. Sans carne.
Yeah,
without meat.
Yeah, yum.
That's cool. And a drop of but what? Sue. Okay, I've been noting your amazing drinking habits. Not a habit, but as I sort of note the quality of drinking that you guys actually do. A drop of Jura Trousseau. Well, as a kid.
No, that was in answer to your second question. What are you drinking?
Oh, what are you drinking? Oh, and a drop. Man, I thought there was like some just savant mum out there, when you were a kid cooking chili beans without meat, doing like mixing
a drop
it
of Trousseau
into the mix, which would be awesome, by the way.
Elevate the acidity.
That would be totally metal. Tricky to keep the home kitchen going without tin tomatoes. It was so passata and the cherry tomatoes like sliced up and then sort of really cooked down over about 2 hours.
I think that's good. I think that's why it's sweeter from those cherry tomatoes.
I think so as well. I didn't add as much, sugar was a component of this and I didn't add as much because of that. Our local stores have everything except nacho cheese shapes. I told you this
We've made them too popular.
We've made them too popular. This is the power of being an influencer. I'm sitting here with Ruth, just deleted a bottle of a Yeti in the Coconut Salsa Verde and opened a Yuzu Taboo. Yeah, wicked. I'm just also in a massive tray of outrageously yummy nachos, epic fatties right now.
But that's what Sundays are for.
We did that last week, the nachos.
Yeah, we did
it lasted quite a... I came up with a trick with that. There was a trick, I'd never done it before. You know how I'm not sure how you guys make nachos. Whether it's not like you have the chips there and then you just pour over the meat, but we shove it all into the oven to sort of like melt the cheese.
Yeah, we normally go chips on the bottom, meat, and then cheese.
And I had a revelation of the smallest things, the simplest things. Spreading the chips out in like in a circle.
Yeah, you made like a little
like
hole.
a divot, because you always pull the meat on. Like you're never going to get the chip. The chip's going to be soggy. It's just acts as like a cake base. So make sure you ring your chips. It's called Piggy Bar now, Smashable. Who is better, mums or Nats? What I reckon.
Yeah. That's what I reckon.
That's what I reckon is pretty amazing. Is pretty amazing. Although I watched, he released one today. So for those who are uninitiated to Nats What I Reckon, you should be jumping onto. So Nats What I Reckon is amazing. Facebook page is a comedian, Aussie comedian based in Sydney, and he's teaching people to just cook at home and stop eating like shit. It's awesome. Released one today. I think it was chili con carne.
Oh, great, perfect.
Yeah, but he did something at the very end. Now all of his other ones have been able to go, yep, cool, yep, cool, yep, cool. This was the first one that I've gone, huh? And I want you guys to be able to confirm this for me. He put dark chocolate in it.
Oh.
He put a square of dark chocolate in it right at the end to melt it down and mix it up. That's it.
I'm
not sure if he's trolling us or not.
Yeah, is it a trick to see if anyone's actually watching? Does anyone watch until the end of the show?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I thought, because there is a thing about chili and chocolate And isn't there's a sauce that's like melted chocolate with chili that's served with meat?
I'm so confused. You're telling the story right now.
Yeah, there is some, I'm sure someone will be able to. It's like Mexican or some kind of South American thing. I think it is actually legit.
So where's the cheese? Figure that one out for you, Christina. All right, but in terms of wine pairings, and I did pour you some wine.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
And it paired well because I drank it.
Was that like the justification for a pairing?
It
just pairs well because I drank it.
No, but I also saved this from last night because I thought it would go with this dish. This is the Chablis that we had last night.
The Monty de Tonnerre, which I totally
who was
nailed.
awesome. Dave Ridge last night.
Dave Ridge, hey, how did you guys like Dave Ridge last night? We loved having him on board. Probably one of the, still even after that meeting, and having him on, I was just so incredibly stoked with how passionate that guy is about wine, and it kind of makes me kind of go, man, I really got to go back to Barolo. We're checking out the Gerard Duplessis Monty de Tonnerre 2017 Chablis Premier Cru, imported by our lovely friends out at Francabout Wine. They run an amazing store as well that you can actually get these wines. They're called Le Pont in Sydney.
Do they do online?
I'm pretty confident they do online. I'm pretty confident they do.
Yeah.
We've got, Mum would save tuna mornay for when Dad was out because he hates it. Now we did consider tuna mornay because it wasn't a huge thing in my household, but it is something that you've cooked a ton of times before.
Yeah. Same deal, white sauce, and then you just put shit in it.
You can hide so many vegetables in spag bowl. I can completely concur with that. That's why you need a pressure cooker.
I'm very interested in this, Tanya, because I've seen a few things in COVID, a few people putting recipes on Instagram, and this pressure cooker thing is like, it'll be like slow cooked or pulled pork in 40 minutes in a pressure cooker. And I've never used one before.
I would love to do it. Then I would do tacos all the time then.
Yeah,
because then
exactly.
you shove it in, pull it apart, boom. Like you pretty much know a bunch of spices and just grab the whole lot and go. We haven't got a pressure cooker, have we? No, I think we should investigate that.
Never used one.
Milk, yes, milk in a spag bowl. I did this on my last rendition of spag bowl, which was actually only a week ago.
Yes, because isn't it meant to like something with the
break
protein
the proteins
in the meat?
down? I think but I think it also makes it a bit of like a clarifying agent.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure why you'd want to clarify spaghetti bolognese, but
maybe for more flavour.
Maybe more flavour or something. Yeah, not too sure. Oh, yeah. Anyway, happy Mother's Day from Austria to all you mamas. Hey, thanks so much, Addie. Thanks for chiming in. That looks so good. So much extra sauce on pasta. You know, I actually was really quite reserved with the pasta use. The sauce use on this one because typically I do apparently according to Noah. I do the typically Australian thing where it's like at a minimum 50%. 50-50, but really it should be more like 80-20 skewed towards pasta.
It is, but I think you learnt that probably. I imagine your mum was trying to get as much protein into you as possible, so that's probably how it was always served up in your house.
Look, the reality is Mum could have cooked and given us whatever ratio, and we would have eaten. We're pretty simple beasts. We still kind of are. Enough cheese on something. We'll figure it out. I love the fact, Oliver, did you just tag in your mother to ask her a question about what weird shit she does with her spag bowl? You've earned some points for that. I love Jiki's view on this. Mum is a really bad cook, but very good at finding restaurants.
Also, super important.
That's very super important. Surely pastafari must be on the menu tonight, and yes, absolutely. And I thought this would be a really fun time because look, this is home style cooking, right? And I want to show you something that I do home style drinking because I've mentioned the term flash decant to people before.
Okay.
And a lot of people look at me kind of strangely because I think they get hung up on the decant side of things, thinking you're trying to decant a wine. And why would you decant a young wine? And I want to show you something really simple that for closed wines, or wines that are like really, really young that you really want to open up and you don't have a lot of time. So this is indeed, I should of course play this. This is called Get Basic. So
how do we get based? So this is a Nebbiolo. This is one of the most amazing vineyard sites, and probably one of the best deals on the website at the moment, to be honest. Because how many bottles of this did we make?
Oh, not
a couple
a huge
thousand?
amount. Like
Yeah.
one of our foodras.
One of our foodras, yeah, really only a couple of thousand bottles. Now, it's got amazing tannin. I know for a fact, and I'll quickly check it.
I could have had that.
You could have, but you
So,
didn't.
But decanting is
Yeah.
the original reason for decanting was as a wine ages, it generates a lot of sediment, and so you would decant it to pull the wine off sediment, and then when it's poured into the glasses, it's a lot clearer. Or
It's a lot
doesn't
clearer,
have the
yeah.
grittiness to it. But often now it's used in restaurants because we're drinking a lot more younger wine. It's if a wine is really closed, a little bit like last night with the Chablis, and particularly red wines can be a little bit reductive and closed too, and that's why now you might decant a wine even if it doesn't have sediment, but it's a different idea.
So I was, someone came into the bar during the week, picked up a bottle of this, and I said, you should flash decant it, and I think she thought I was having her on.
Yeah.
I said, literally, you just grab a Tupperware container, whatever, jug, whatever, seriously, what? And if you want to do it proper mum style, you grab one of those Pyrex, you know, like the with the red markings along the side.
Oh, the jug, yeah.
Yeah, perfect for this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But here we've just got good old plastic jug. Now wine, we just say wine and oxygen have like a really funny relationship, and I won't get into the too geeky sort of levels of wine and oxygen, but it can actually take a bit of a, you know, especially young wine, especially freshly bottled wine. Look, you probably wouldn't want to do this in a couple of days' time.
Man, you should see what we do in the cellar with
You should
wine.
see, yeah, seriously. You can be pretty rough with wine when it's really quite young. Now this is age, this is seen a bit of, so when I mean young, I mean like post-bottling. But you literally just, one of these ones, because we're not trying to decant it off any sediment, we're trying to flash a ton of air into it. And I've seen people put their thumb over and just shake the bottle. I don't think that really works as well as this. And especially something like Nebbiolo.
It's about the amount of air that's coming into contact with wine. So if it's in the bottle, you're not going to get the same amount of ratio of air to wine.
And this, look, ultimately, is it going to probably kill the life of this particular wine, like post-bottling? You know, like reality, you probably want to, you know,
drink it within,
You're probably going to take a day of it, but you're going to get almost instant gratification straight away. Now, this is not dissimilar to, you know,
just slow down.
Whoa. Oh yeah, cool. It's a boy. Anyway, it's not dissimilar to what these things do, but you don't need to spend 80 to 90 bucks on these things.
Find a place for it in your house.
And find a place for it, and then people just think you're into like weird sex toys or something like that. It's not actually about that. You can do it with, like I said, a Tupperware container, just another receptacle that you can like just quickly flash it straight into, and then straight away. We're gonna already have opened up the wine.
Yeah, because this wine definitely, it looks much better the day after opening. And that's because of the variety, because there's a lot of tannin in there. And Nebbiolo, even Dave mentioned this last night, Nebbiolo takes a long time to age. That's why it's so famous.
I think there's a lot of things, especially comes with Italian food and Italian wine as well. It looks remarkably simple, but that's the thing, if they're not gonna build complexity into something, they rely largely on time to achieve that complexity for them. And that's something that time and time again, I actually really start to rediscover all the time. Yes, I know. You just really want pasta.
Yeah, and even the Kerner we had last night, the white wine, that could have lasted for, like it looked like Australian 2019 wine. But obviously it's a few vintages older, it's come all the way from Italy and it still has freshness to it. So yeah, there is a thing.
You mean the Kerner? Yeah, or the Kerner. I always get confused between Kerner, the winery, and Kerner, the
variety.
The variety.
The lovely wine we had last night.
The lovely wine we had last night was fantastic.
And I also thought, so pasta farin you chose for this dish, but I also thought, we've had a discussion about pizza on the show before, a lot of people said Sangiovese, and that would be the same for this.
Sangiovese is classic because I'm pretty confident in saying that it's a Tuscan dish, spaghetti bolognese.
Ooh,
I'm pretty confident in saying...
I don't know.
It's either from Tuscany or Emilia-Romagna.
Yeah.
Pretty confident in saying that. And of course, Sangiovese is the hallmark of Toscana. Now, that's it. This particular style is basically a red sauce pasta. You know, you see this across pretty much all of Italy, or at least from sort of the middle of Italy south.
Yeah.
Typically white sauce pastas
and probably,
predominate the north.
I imagine maybe because of, it'll either be related to the meat or the tomatoes. because I know
Yeah.
Northern Italy is a lot more rice, so risotto, and a lot more like creamy influence.
I think French style dishes.
Yeah,
like,
whereas,
it's a lot more French.
Yeah, exactly. And south is more tomatoes, freshness, and then you get to Sicily and it's like, yeah, amazing summer vegetables, eggplant, and
Nebbiolo is definitely not a strict match for this particular style of dish.
okay.
But it's a good drink. That's it. No, Sangiovese is awesome that way because, like, you don't have a lot of tannin. You have a ton of tannin in Nebbiolo. Nebbiolo is very asymmetric
Or a nice
style one.
Barbera too. Yeah,
Nice
so
Barbera.
something without too much
Dolcetto.
tannin. Yeah.
Dolcetto would be like, or actually there's a better grape variety that I really, really love. I'm not too sure if we've got it in Australia. I'd really like to see it grow in Australia because I really like the taste of this particular variety. And let us know as well if you've heard of this variety at home. It's called Colorino, as in colour, Reno.
Yeah.
Colorino. It's the most. It's almost like Dolcetto on a lot of drugs.
Is that one of the? I feel like that's one of the varieties in. No, I'm thinking Molinara. I'm thinking
no, that's
Valpool
Corvina.
varieties.
Corvina, yeah.
I was thinking the cross between Corvina and Molinara.
Stephen Harris, mother is an appalling cook. We used to eat mushrooms cooked in water, essentially boiled with pasta with no salt, pepper, or oil.
Oh wow!
I am so sorry. That sounds horrid. Is this why you have such amazing taste now? It's like you remember what it was. Sean Baxter, 5 years as a waiter, all I did was make nachos. That's so good. Did you get good with it, mate? Did you get good with it? Do you have any tips? Nachos tips. I want to know. Is it pronounced nachos or nachos? I want to know if I'm mispronouncing it as well. We did chips, cheese, meat. The more cheese and guac. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I'm into it.
It's the post-oven condiments that make nachos what they are.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And what other condiments are we? Because there's sour cream, guac. There's obviously coriander.
We had spring onion as well in my house.
Spring onions, your house. Okay, yeah, in your house. It is her house.
And then now we do
got nothing to do with me.
Fresh salsa is always good.
Fresh salsa is really. Oh, what's that? Pico de gallo.
Oh my god.
Pico de gallo.
Oh
is
man,
the fucking
and
best.
I have tried to replicate it because we always buy it when we go over to the US, and we'll often have that after work.
Pico de gallo.
It's just like corn
So
chips and pico de gallo. But you can't, it's just not the same here. And I think maybe it's down to our tomatoes and also the type of chilies. We don't get the same chilies in Australia.
They get
that
green.
do
Well,
in
pico
the
de gallo,
US.
I think they get green tomatoes. You can't buy green tomatoes here. Oh, he's just begging. Can I just give him like a?
Yeah, Truffles is just jumping up on us here. Because he would have seen us plate this up and think that we were doing it for him.
Yeah, because I mean, you know. Hey man, come on. Oh, all he's gonna look at is the food.
Well, yeah, Heston has done that with his chili con carne recipe, so that I gather that's about the chocolate.
The chocolate, yeah.
So
Someone said dark
that's what
chocolate,
I
yes, I
reckon
thought it was odd.
Yeah, mole.
Mole.
That's what it is, Sean. Yeah, it's like a chocolate sauce that they serve with meat.
Really?
They serve with meat, yes. It's a thing. I don't reckon, you wouldn't see it on a menu in Australia in the last maybe 10, 15 years, but I reckon there would have been an era where it was a thing. And chocolate and venison. I'm sure that's a thing as well.
Chocolate and venison?
Yeah.
I'm learning so much.
I am also the queen of chocolate.
It's legit chocolate and meat. What, like in mixed
Like
together?
Aaron,
yeah. Oh, he's keen. He's
Adds
so
to the
keen.
depth of flavor. We're gonna have to try that next time.
Jesus Christ, Richard, drinking Lanson 05 vintage champagne.
Oh, yum. For Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day, that's right. Without us. That's right.
We also have
Treat yourself.
made all of this food without them.
Yeah, and we are also drinking Chablis without them, so, you know, potato. Not calling anyone a mole. No, we didn't think
And
you were
Nigella.
saying mole. That's so good.
And Nigella.
Nigella adds dark chocolate to a chili con carne recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna try it and get back to you.
We'll give it a crack. People put lots of weird stuff in curry. I heard of chocolate, coffee, soy sauce, pineapple.
Oh, I've had pineapple in curry before. In Thailand, I reckon. It's good because it's like the spice with a bit of sweetness, and I know you're against. Why are you against that?
Just don't fuck with curry. Just don't do it. Like, you know, pineapple's great by itself as a dessert in a pina colada. It's so good. It doesn't need. We don't need more pineapple in our lives. I feel like we get enough.
Pineapple fritter. Oh, what? Really?
As in the deep fried.
Yeah, like battered pineapple.
Have you? It's like seeing like microwaved avocado. The smell.
Oh yeah, I'm not so into that.
No, avocado needs to be like a hot avocado is not a thing.
Yeah.
What a sexy wine. Some could almost say BLE. Oh, what? Pastafarian?
No, not Pastafarian.
I highly doubt it. I read the pressure cooker. I did an 8-hour ragu in slow cooker and 1 hour pressure cook.
Yeah, okay. One hands down. Oh, that's
We're gonna get one this week.
Yeah.
We're gonna get one this week. The pressure cooker one hands down. As long, I wonder what this is the dangerous thing about getting really cool kitchen tech in our place. First, we have a very small place. Secondly, I always wonder what else you can do with it. And what happened to our Thermomix?
Oh yeah, our Thermomix is now in the distillery and it does our botanicals. And the slow cooker is actually also at work because we use it as a heat bath in our lab.
No, what happened to the fry pans? We ended up getting the electric cook pots. Now we have like 6.
Have electric cook pots, which are now our wax warmers. Yeah, so everything that has previously been in our house, and it was a real pain point for me at the start. I used to get really annoyed that you would take all this stuff from the house and bring it to work, but now I've accepted it.
Once you realise that the electric, I think it's an electric fry pan, which is like a really deep pan one, is literally the perfect receptacle to melt coloured wax for wax dipping, and then you can just continue to dip into it. And then we realised, we tried looking for other technology and nothing existed. And so we just bought more of them. Now we have literally like 6 and they all have different colours in them. Because we got tired of changing the wax out in between them. We'll just buy another one. Yeah, so a lot of people that come down to the bottling line and they actually have a look, 'cause it's all in-house here, they kind of look at us and go, what is that?
Yeah, but to be fair...
It's like it's sponsored by Sunbeam.
To be fair, you went, a few years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago, we had one of the parts on the bottling line broke. Remember the rollers that put our overcaps on the bottle?
Yeah.
We had an issue, they got damaged, and our supplier who normally would have the parts, they didn't have them, so we needed a really quick fix.
And we went to Penfolds.
You went to Penfolds, but to their premium bottling line, and they had the same thing.
They had the exact same thing, that's right, because they were doing some
wax
wax dipping stuff, and yeah, so Penfolds, Sunbeam.
That's it. So,
good old Sunbeam.
Yeah.
You know, they figured
it out. We can do it.
I'm sure I signed some sort of waiver saying that I wouldn't talk about the Penfolds before getting into it, but I'm, hey, use Sunbeam. It's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Yes, or a white sauce is the beginning of so many delicious meals. Yes. I totally and utterly agree. Any Italian red left from Dave for all of your Italian dishes? Well, Addy, I don't know yet because he did drop off. I was expecting him to bring Barolo yesterday, and then just to kind of like fuck with me, he didn't. And I really appreciated that.
Great.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a Carricante that which would have been dope, but it was corked, unfortunately. But the most amazing Kerner, again, just an amazing wine to get you even more psyched about wine.
Yeah.
But we have got a mixed dozen wines that have come from him that is imported to go on the back wall. I don't know what they are, but they're going to be wrapped up tomorrow, and they'll be a part of that selection, of which we're going to select from in a second. A pressure cooker sounds great, but I love warming up our room by slow cooking with the oven during winter too. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. And our house is 30 square meters externally, a little bit smaller internally, and it's built out of cold room panels. During winter, well and truly, the oven quite literally does heat the whole house.
That really did work. Like the aromatics on that now are
so much better.
Super vibrant.
So much better. You could probably do it a couple of times even, but be warned, there's a fine line between like opening the wine up and just straight up oxidizing it. You can. It's called premature oxidation. You can actually oxidize the wine. So I'm just really confident that I can do that with that wine. My friends call it the ghetto decant. I love this. I'm going to jump ahead because I feel like we're lagging behind. You guys are like just commenting like crazy, and it's so awesome to see. Because the cutest spoiled little brat. Yes, Truffles is the cutest spoiled. I assume you're talking about him and not me. There was a dish in Montezuma's restaurant with chicken and mole poblano in the 1990s.
Yeah,
don't know if they're still
that was the era for this. See, that's why I don't know much about it.
It was old school.
Yeah.
El Torito Mexican restaurant here in Brisbane has a mole dish. Grilled chicken bathed in homemade mole sauce, dried chili seeds, nuts, spices, vegetables, and chocolate.
That sounds really good.
Is it sweetened chocolate and mole goodness? I want to see what other uses for chocolate are there outside of just straight up eating chocolate, sweetened chocolate. I want to see another you two. That's your challenge. I know, Steve, you've given me some challenges for tomorrow night, and I've risen to those challenges.
And he's recommended that definitely use cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder gives a depth and richness.
All right, we're gonna try it.
Get a multi-cooker that can pressure cook and slow cook and a whole bunch more. I think that's what I've got.
And do wax and
do wax. That's right. I think something to do with the acid of pineapple is supposed to make the meat tender. Yeah, could very well.
Yeah.
I look at cocoa powder as a spice rather than a sweet. Well, yeah, I mean, straight up cocoa powder. I remember once.
Very bitter.
There was like the Steve's gonna hate me saying, but it's the C word, ending in Adbury, box of cocoa.
Yeah.
My mum had it, and you just get a craving, and you'd open the pantry. What is that? And you see the purple color. They get you with the color, right?
Yeah,
you
the
see
trademark color.
Yeah, the trademark color. And I'm like, yeah. And I grabbed a spoon. I thought it was like hot chocolate. And I grabbed a whole spoon. It's like taking the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
It was the most embarrassing. I coughed and it came out my nose and it coated everything. It was the most bitter thing ever. It was horrid. Absolutely horrid. If you do the faster can, how soon should you drink it? Can it last over a couple of nights? Rhiannon, it will definitely take away from the lifetime of the wine, but only marginally. And we're talking by like a maximum a day. So it's as soon as you actually open up this wine and you pour it once, you actually expose quite a fair amount of the wine. And I mean just opening up and pouring it. You'll actually expose the wine to a fair amount of oxygen anyway. And that's gonna, as soon as you put the cap back in and you leave it on the shelf or put it in the fridge, that that oxygen exposure will actually start working on the wine right away. Because you flash decanting it, you're actually oxidizing different elements of the wine a little bit more drastically. Man, he's like just jumping up as best he can. Poor little guy, he's only got feet this big. Another random food pairing. Sprinkling ground coffee on a steak and then barbecuing, so good. I did this once.
I've never heard of this.
I did this once back at our old house, and it didn't go down very well.
You obviously didn't give it to me after you did it.
Yeah, because I don't think I did it on beef.
Yeah.
I did it on chicken. And they're not compatible. Ground coffee and chicken. Ground coffee is in like instant coffee, or are we talking like actual like coffee? I think I might have used instant coffee.
Yeah, I thought you
and it was pretty bad. Yeah, there you go, Kerry. You've got a little truffle shot.
What else was in your house? Spag bowl was the primo.
We used to have spag bowl. We would have there was like a beef stew thing. I really want to find out what this pasta salad dish was. It was so good. I've seriously craved it. The thing that's put me off cooking it is you have to dice capsicum. It's going to sound like a real sort of like first world problem. I don't like. And Mum used to nail the capsicum dice.
Size, yeah.
Oh, it was
and that's
awesome.
Important.
It was like half a pinky nail and completely uniform.
And you can't live up to that.
And I even tried doing it today because there was dice capsicum and I still didn't even get it. Like it's the dice that really irks me.
Yeah.
But we could probably do it. No proper coffee. Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll remember that for next time. Well, we've got a whole bunch of beef to barbecue now, so we're gonna do it over red gum. I've had coffee duck before. That was tasty.
Wow.
Vanilla ice cream and ground pepper and TBA. What do you mean TBA? What's TBA? Is this like a special Austrian thing, Addie?
I'm not sure. I have heard of strawberries and ground pepper before, like black pepper.
Well, we've got almost about 15 minutes left. And we're not going to go an episode without opening a blind wine because we know you guys only really chime in for the blind tastings. Would you like to choose this time?
I'm a little bit trapped.
You're a little bit trapped? All right. Point to one. Point me in a general direction. That one?
Right.
That one?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We're doing it. And it's your turn. Your turn to guess. Because we can't both guess.
Yeah.
That would be weird.
Right. Trockenbeer and us lazy.
Yeah.
Yum.
Okay. Addie, you're in Austria, and I'm very jealous because of the fact that you're actually able to get TBA, Trockenbeer and us lasers, at a really good price, like just next level price. If there's wine professionals amongst us, who or wine collectors amongst us, if you've got any Trockenbeer and us laser in your cellar, I gather it's probably at least $120. a bottle, which would be the equivalent of like about 70 or 80 US dollars a bottle. It's incredibly expensive, but amazingly delicious. Absolutely amazingly delicious. So Laura, young Laura, would you like to avert your eyes for a little bit? I just
I'll put some down and...
all right. He really wants his food. Half a second. This one's a tough one, Law. I'm really sorry. Okay, you can turn around now. All right. What are you feeling? Firstly, are we red or white?
I actually can't even tell.
Maybe need a bit of flash decanting.
Nah, it smells white. It smells like muscety or gewürzy. It's quite a little bit oxy.
It is definitely white. It is most definitely white. Are we old world or new world?
I think we're old. Let me taste it.
Gorgeous, gorgeous wine. Very beautiful. This is like really dainty.
I think it's New World. No, it's not. It is Old World.
It is old world.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I said really well crafted this. I think. I don't think it is. I see it's got a little bit of oxidation, like oxidative. Yeah, but I think it could. I believe it is very much part of the style.
And there's a bit of back palate funk.
There's oak. There's oak use there. All right, we're old world.
All right, country.
Is it France, Germany, or Italy?
I think it's Italy.
This is rough.
Italy.
This is rough. This one's.
I said Italy because it feels like a muscat variety. It doesn't feel clean enough to be. It doesn't feel clean enough to be German. That was my other option.
And French.
And French. It could be French. Like it could be like a Pinot Gris or Riesling or. And it's got a lot of texture. Like it's and texture would make me think Germany, not France.
Texture would make you think Germany and not France.
Only because of the varieties that are used.
Texture. So as in there's more textural varieties in Germany than Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc.
Yeah, but I know it's not a Chardonnay, and I don't think it's Chenin either.
Okay. Well,
so it's obviously French.
It's French.
No, sorry. So you were referring to like the acid lines of German wines are so high, so they're not often associated with texture.
I just don't have a lot of amazingly textural wines out of Germany, and I know they exist. I know there's outliers. I know the nerds amongst you are going to be, what about really cool Pinot Gris? And there's obviously things like Kerner. There's obviously things like Müller-Thurgau. I get that. What Germany is famous for plays what France is famous for, based on the numbers. France is the home of texture. You know, Italy is the home of that sort of tangible, like thrilling styles of wine, and Germany is clean, crisp, tight, like just linear, driven styles of wine. However, this is French. All
right. Is it a variety that? Is it a mainstream variety?
I actually need to. I
admittedly do
Yeah.
not know the grape variety here, and I have an inkling.
I can't-
I have an
I'm
inkling
trying
of
to-
what it is. I think I'll
I'm
I want us
trying
to
to
taste
rule
it.
them out in my head
Alright.
because I'm going through.
avert your gaze, and I'll try and
it's
find.
so-
I'll try and find the grape variety.
It's so floral, and then I.
Well, cool. I'm very happy to say that it is the grape variety I thought it was. Thank fuck.
Okay.
It does taste like it. That's also it, but it's very hard to okay. Is this from the Loire Valley, from the Mâconnais, or from Brittany?
Okay, so Loire Valley would be Chenin Blanc or Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Mâconnais would be Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And Brittany, I have no idea. I couldn't even. I have no idea. But I'm gonna say it's that because it's obscure to include.
Yeah,
in the
I've
lineup.
led you to too much. I've led you way too much on
Yeah.
this one. It is from Brittany. Of the grape varieties, though, I won't get you to do the sub-region because it is a sub-region you've probably
Yeah,
heard
I'm
of.
not-
You've
okay.
actually probably tried wines from here before. They are quite well known. We just don't get to see enough of them in this country.
Right.
But is the grape variety Petit Manseng,
Yep.
Chenin Blanc, or Chardonnay?
I have seen ripe Chardonnay look tropical like this before, but I don't think it's Chardonnay.
Try it. Try it. My hint would be the giveaway for this grape variety. I'm just saying it could be Chardonnay as well. Could be all of those three. The giveaway is actually on the palate weight and shape on this one. It's not the smell. It's a really good example. I'm into this one.
Of Petit Manseng. What is the descriptor for Petit Manseng? I'm sure
I just threw that in. It's Petit Manseng
something
is super
particular.
tropical. It's like passion fruit. Chenin Blanc
Yeah.
from Anjou.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Loire Valley.
No, it's Brittany. Isn't it? I thought it was Brittany. I thought it was up north. Well, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It is Loire Valley. Yeah, it's Loire Valley.
Yeah, this is a good example of Chenin Blanc from Loire Valley. Oh, they're all those Brittany wines.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Loire. I've been schooled. Yeah, absolutely. That is totally true.
I'm
yeah,
glad
well done.
that was in the depths of my Wesset training from 4 years ago.
I haven't had a lot of Anjou wines. I
really
don't
cool.
gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. And yes,
you're right, good example of
good
Chenin Blanc.
Amazing example of Chenin
Yeah.
Blanc. I could have sworn that Anjou was, well, it is, I suppose it is the Loire Valley, but
Yeah, it's one of the 4 regions in the Loire Valley.
see, I got a school. Yeah, it bordered Brittany to the west, Maine to the north. Terrain, yeah, right.
Yeah, so there's
French province straddling the lower Loire River.
Anjou,
Yeah.
Touraine,
Touraine.
and what are the other 2? One starts with C.
Poitou,
No.
and Maine. Brittany, Maine, Touraine, Poitou. That's amazing. It's an amazing wine. There you go.
Really nice.
It's probably
And
an
what we didn't
amazing.
do vintage, but I would have thought warmer vintage, but 2017. I don't know much about that vintage.
Moderate
Yeah.
vintage.
13%. Really cool label.
Very cool and very hard. Like
It's
very
a
hard.
fun
I'm
wine.
surprised though. It almost looks like it's bottled in a sparkling bottle.
Yeah, there's like a real weight to it and quite a thick.
I mean, it's almost like they were. Does anyone know about the producer? I know nothing about this producer. I'm very, very I've purposely avoided Loire Valley until I get the opportunity to go there because of the sheer quantity of communes inside Loire Valley and different
Yeah.
crew inside all of those communes.
And I believe you can
yeah.
go to Loire Valley and stay in a castle.
Yeah,
There's lots of castles there.
cool. We know why Laura wants to go to Loire Valley.
I know!
What would you pair this with? Oliver, you're still chiming in. What would you pair this with? Roof, what would you pair this with, truffles?
I would even go a dessert with this. Bit of pineapple fritter. No, but like, even if it was like a...
It's got a remarkable salinity to it.
Yeah.
I'm really like a massive fan of.
Yeah.
Hey, Truss.
I was thinking like poached, like summer fruits, like peaches or...
Well, how far away is Anjou from Vouvray?
Vouvray, that's the other one. We're up to 3 now.
No, there's tons. I think there's like 27
Yeah,
or
there's
something
4 main
like
ones. And then the other one is wherever Cab Franc comes from.
Anjou, Saumur,
That's the other one.
Chinon,
Yeah.
and Vouvray,
Chinon.
the regions of. I find that fascinating. I find that really, really fascinating because I probably would have picked it as Chardonnay had I not known. But yeah, I had to do some research on it. This is a very new one for me.
What would you pair it with?
Chicken, poultry. I would have gone some sort of roast poultry or something with this, or even like maybe not as rich and dense as duck, but maybe like goose would be really good. Turkey would be really good. Guys, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up. And there's Thai curry would definitely work. Thai curry with Chenin Blanc.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a good call. Yeah, that the weight and the little bit of texture.
I mean, I reckon totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Samir is missing.
Pineapple curry.
Pineapple curry. What the fuck is pineapple curry? Seriously, is that even a thing? I love Chenin with green veggie and spinach. Green veggie and spinach. That's actually pretty cool. I think maybe like some charred green veg as well would be really interesting with this. But guys, we're gonna leave you until tomorrow. We have Stephen Torres coming back up. We're gonna be talking chocolate and a bunch of... He's given me talking points and homework to do for the first time, which I'm very much looking forward to it. But guys, enjoy the rest of what's left of your weekend. And if you're in hospo, and still fortunately working, enjoy the extra day if you've still got Monday off. And until
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to Kerry and Louise and all of the mums around the world. And we will catch you tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m, 5:30 your time, I guess. Until then, peace out, have fun, sleep well, keep drinking, and see you then.